Okay, today's daf is Tzaddik. We're up to daf 90 in Baba Kama. We're still a little bit behind. We're in on pay Tes Amid Beis, about 12 lines up, parallel to the Taisus Le Mafsid. With Lema, let's suggest Takana Susha Tanoihi. So just to remind you, what was Takana Susha? Even though we paskin fellas that Kinyan Paris is Lavka Kinyan Guftami, and therefore the woman should be able to sell it because she has what? She has the Kinyan Guf. Nonetheless, the Chachamim, for Shalom bias reasons, because of Evo Metakin, that the husband will be the Lokeach Rishon. He has a strong shibud, and therefore what she can't sell it because he's the first buyer. So the Gemara wants to suggest that the Takuna Susha is the Machloikis Tanayim. Says the Gemara, the Tani Chada, Avdei Miloig. So Avdei Miloig is what is belongs to the woman, and the husband gets to use him, right? It's like no different than karkas she brings into marriage. She brings an Evet Kanani into marriage, and the husband has the rights to use him. So she has the Kinyan Aguf, she owns the Evet, and the husband has the rights, he has the Kinyan Paris. Yoitze b'shem v'ayin. Now we know that an Evet Kanani goes out b'shem v'ayin only if the owner goes ahead and knocks out the eye. So yoitze b'shem v'ayin leisha avaloi leish. So clearly, who's the owner? It's the woman, because the woman, the going out with the woman knocking, but if the husband knocks it out, you wouldn't go out. So obviously, this is going to hold kinyan aperis is lavka kinyan guftami. We can infer from the halacha. We can infer that must be the svara. The tanya idach loy leish v'loy leisha. Neither one, meaning whether the man knocks it out or the woman knocks it out, he doesn't go free. Why? Because kinyan aperis is kinyan aguf, and therefore it would be ma'ake if each one's buy list ownership would stop the other. Savru the kuliyam kinyan paris is not kinyan aguf dami. My labo hakamifliki. Okay, so therefore it's not as we thought that it's kinyan paris kinyan aguf. It must be another svara. Everyone who holds guys kinyan paris is lav kinyan aguf dami. So therefore the first brisa makes sense. It's the second brisa that doesn't make sense. And if kinyan paris is lav kinyan aguf, then why doesn't it go free with the woman, not the man? So the elawat. So lav b'hokamifliki demanda amal leisha less late takana susha. The one who says what you only the isha does not hold the takana of usha. Why? So it's the sole ownership of the woman, and only her knocking out the shein va'ayin will give the freedom to the eved. Umandi ama loyla isha, but might the mandi ama that neither is late takana susha. So therefore the bilus of the husband, right? Okay, that would be okay. So we have a problem. We have two conflicting brises. One says that only goes free by the woman. Other one says by neither. And we want to go ahead and say with the hakdama that kinyan paris is lavka kinyan aguftami. So really, the isha is the sole owner. Although what's the reason? Therefore, in the second brisa, which is shver, then why neither one? Is because they don't hold it takana susha. Okay, we're on pay test on base. Pay test on base. A few lines up. Says Merloi. Everyone knows the Konasusha, and I have a different way of explaining the problem, the difference between the two brises. They both hold the takana. The brisa said only the isha is speaking before the takana, and the brisa that says afterwards that neither one is after the takana. Viba is same with third teretz. It's speaking after the takana. So it's just the takana, and everyone else is the takana. What's shver? What? Why the first brisa? Why do you go if it's after the kana? Why do you go free by the isha? The islu takana susha. Again, now it's shver the first brisa. My timer kidarava damarava hegdish chametz v'shechrar mafkia midei shibud. Now, if this sounds familiar, this is the sixth time that we're having it. We had it in Yevamis, and Ksubis, and Gittin, and Nedarim. What does that mean? It means the following. You go ahead, you have a loan. In order to go ahead and to establish that the loan should take place, the person wants collateral. So what do? You give an object. But not only you make an object, because you have multiple objects, you say this object. We call it an apoitiki. There is your lien. Your lien is on this shar. Your lien is on this eved. Good? That's what you're going to collect from. There's a shibud on that. If you go ahead and you magdish the shar as a carbon, Now, there's a lien on it. There's ownership over there, right? There's ownership of the malva has a shtickle ownership in it, right? Guess what? The hegdish is what? Mafkia midei shibud. What does it do? It circumvents the shibud. Chametz, chametz level of Pesach. It's in the jurisdiction. You meshubah to a guy. Chametz sheish l'mayla takes off what? The shibud. Shichrar is mafkia the shibud. Shichra is mafkia the shibud. Okay, says the Gemara. So in this case over here, the act of the woman knocking out the evet's tooth, right, is an act of freedom. That's mafkia the shibud to the husband, and therefore what? Therefore you go free. Therefore you go free. Okay, that would be that now. Therefore, you tell me if Rava said this, then Rava has a brisa that doesn't go like him. The brisa that says, right, Rava has a brisa that doesn't go like him. Which one? The second brisa, where you don't go for either one. What about b'mafkia the shibud? Lamed the Rava tanoihi. Let's suggest it's machloikis tanoim. The brisa that says that you go free neither one, right? Whether if they knock it out, either one's bilus stops the other one. So therefore, let's say that Rava would disagree with the the Kulyama Isul Rava, Vahacha Almur Rabbanon L'Shibud the Baal, that the Rabbanon went ahead and they elevated the shibud of the Baal, that it would not go ahead and go off. And therefore what? It would not be mafkir the shibud. By saying the Kulyama Leslu Lahani Tanoi, right? Everyone who does not hold less lahu Lahani Tanoi and Takana Susha, they don't hold of this. The Kulyama Les Lahu Lahani Tanoi. That in this case, what? Les Lahu, they do not hold of what? With this, let me see. I don't know. It doesn't read well. The Kulyama Les Lahu Lahani Tanoi. They don't have two brises, right? They don't hold that, and they do hold and Takana Susha, and they don't hold the Takana Susha. They don't. But what's the machlokes? Kinyan Paris is kinyan aguf dummy. But the kinyan Paris is kinyan aguf. Okay, guys, let's go back outside. You don't have to go outside. Look, I put the chart out. It's a good chazara. Good, go to the chart. I sent it out today. I sent out something. And you'll have it in front of you. Okay, so now there's the first chart. So at the top you have the two brises. It's the brisa sheyoitza means that the ish only if the isha knocks it out you go out. The second brisa shelo yoitza neither, right? Because the bilus of each one stops the other one. So initially, what did we hold? That it's a machlokes takana susha. The first brisa that says you go free, goes ahead and knocks it out, is because the isha is the sole owner. Guys, why is the isha the sole owner? Guys, because Kinyan Paris love Kinyan Aguf dummy. So she has the Kinyan Aguf, she owns everything. And what? And it must be you don't hold it to Kanasusha. So therefore, she's the owner. Her knocking out the eye, freeze it. Second brisa that says you don't go out, must hold it to Kanasavusha, correct? And therefore, the Baal Shibud is so strong that it stops her from being the sole owner. And if she knocks it out, she's not go free. Good. Now, we said no. Everyone holds about the Takanas Usha. But what's the machlokes? Well, it was before the Takana or after the Takana, right? According to the first brisa, it's before the Takana. Therefore, she's the sole owner. According to the second brisa, it's after the Takana, and therefore she's a co-owner. Another teretz, Rava. According to the first brisa, the reason why it goes free, since the Isha knocked it out, right? Everyone holds the bottom of Takana Susha, and everyone holds Kinyan Paris, Kinyan Guftami. So there's co-ownership as a result of the Takana. But her knocking out the tooth is synonymous with what? Freeing the Eved. What does that do? It takes the shibud of the husband, the Kinyan Paris, and puts it by the wayside. And therefore, you go free. Masha Enkain, the second one disagrees with Rava, and therefore it's not mafkiya the shibud. Yeah? Says the Gemara, let's say therefore Rava is a machlokes tanoim. Rava is an amayra, he doesn't want to argue on both. Next line. Loi. According to the Brisa, the Aluma Rabban L'Shiba the Baal, they did not go ahead. In other words, there is a Takana Susha. There is the question, and they do hold what of the shibud that mafkia may be shibud, but in this case, it's different. In this case, how far did the Chachamim go to strengthen it? So according to the first brisa, not much. According to the second brisa, they strengthened it so much that even the shikwer is not does not take off the shibud of the husband, and so she's not the sole owner to free the eved. And finally, Ibay Sema, this is the Pasha way, guys, that our whole premise until now is we hold Kinyan HaPeris is Lavka Kinyan HaGuftami. The easiest way to explain this price is Pasha. The price that holds the Isha is the owner. You know why? Because Kinyan HaPeris is Lavka Kinyan HaGuftami. Therefore, she's the sole owner. The brisa that says that their co-owners holds Kinyan HaPeris is Kinyan HaGuftami. Very good. Okay, there it's right in front of you. Geschmack is anything. Right? Yeah, very good. He does a great job. He really does a great job. You know, no reason to go ahead and recreate the wheel. Guys, we're all good? Geschmack. Okay, says the Gemara. And in other words, fellas, who argued who argued by Kinyan Peres Kinyan Aguf? You should be able to tell me, but I'm not going to wait for an answer because you're going to get that. All of a sudden, I'm going to get this, right? Machlokes Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish, right? That was the Chiddush. This is one of the three places we pass in like Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish are Gedali, Amoroyim. Now the Gemara suggests that what? That the machlokes between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Reish Lakish is in fact a machlokes Tanoim. In fact, it says machlokes Tanoim, and then we're going to reject it. Okay, there's a halacha like this, fellas. Famish. Yes, one right there. Well. Pashas Mishpatim, next week's parsha. Can't believe everybody Avi, we're a week off, right? Okay. The chiyaka ish es avdoi. If a man hits his eved, oyes amasai, bashevet, umeis tachas yadoi, nokem yunokem. You're gonna die, guys. He's gonna die. Yechayiv misa. If this is eved kanani, if you kill your eved kanani or your shivcha kananis, you die. However, there is a waiver. Im yoim oy yamayim. If they stand up for a day or two, Rashi asks, if 1 day, 2 days, it means a full day, 24 hours, right? It means 24 hours. If they survive 24 hours, then lo yukom ki kaspehu. You won't take retribution ki kaspehu. So there's a din of yoim oy yamayim. And in other words, if you would hit this eved and the eved would die a week later from the wound, you be chayv misa. You be chayv misa. If the master hits it, what? It does, eved survives 24 hours, then what? Oh, no misa. That's Yom Yamayim. So now, says the Gemara, ki kaspehu. Now I'm not sure if I told you it's true. I think it is true. But usually who's going to hit an eved is the master who's want to get him to work. So this is going to tie into the machlokes, where it suggests this is the machlokes whether Kinyan HaPeris is Kinyan HaGuftami or not. Says the Gemara, Hamoicher Avdoi Titania Brisa, Hamoicher Avdoi La'acher. Someone goes ahead and sells his evet to someone else. Who pasuk imoy almenas shim shemshenu shleishim yom. Listen, it's your evet. I want to use him for the next 30 days. So who has the Kinyan HaGuf? The buyer. Who has the Kinyan Peris? The old master, guys, right? Got the setup. The new buyer has the Kinyan HaGuf, and the old master for 30 days is the Kinyan Peris. Rabbi is of the opinion, Rishon Yeshlei B'din Yom Yamayim. Who's considered the owner vis-a-vis the din of Yom Yamayim? It's the first guy. The original guy. You know why? He must help Kinyan Peris or Kinyan HaGuf. We'll see. Mifnei Shu Tachtov. Ksava Kinyan Peris or Kinyan HaGuf Dami. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda says, guy, only the first one is. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion, Sheni Yeshlei B'din Yom Yamayim. It's the second one. Mifnei Shu Kasboi. Ksavar Kinyan Peris is Lavka Kinyan HaGuf Dami. A third shita, Rabbi Yossi Omer, Shnei Yeshlei B'din Yom Yamayim. Zem Mifnei Shu Tachtov, Zem Mifnei Shu Kasboi. The first guy, because he's still on his jurisdiction, and the second one, because he owns him. Right? And Misvekel Mesafkale kinyan perisi kinyan guftami ilafka kinyan dufkami. He's mesupik, and finally besufik the fashis the hakol, and therefore since we don't know who will be suffing the fashis, who's the owner, right? Will be Mekel. Rabbi Eliezer Omer shneim einay b'dinya miyamayim. They're both going to be chayiv. Neither one. This one, the second husband, the second guy, because he's still not underneath him. Of course, he's not his kesef. Okay, so I put out a chart over here, and we want to suggest that this is a machlokes vat tanoim. Let's see the other chart. It's the bottom chart. Labrius. Okay, Rabbi is of the opinion. So first top line, the black letter, Amoicha, right? Amoicha Baal Pikadon has the Kinyan Peiris. Koina is Baal Kinyan Guf, right? Because he still have the 30 days. There's the Moicha. Rabbi says the first person has the Batur of Yomi Mayim, because Kinyan Peiris is Lavka Kinyan is Kinyan Guf, and the second one would be Chayiv. Rabbi Yehuda says the first one would be Chayiv because Kinyan Peiris is Lavka Kinyan Guf. It's the second one who owns him. And there's your machlokes tanoim, guys. Right there. That's your machlokes. That's what we brought this in for. That's your machlokes tanoim. In addition, Rabbi says they're both potter. The first one's potter because he's tachtav. The second one's potter because he's kasboy. Rabbi says the opposite. The first one's is chayiv because why? Because it's not kasboy, and the second one's chayiv because it's not tachtav. Those are the four shittas regarding this thing. But again, at this point in time, we're holding that Kinyan Paris is a machlokes tanoim between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. Back in the Gemara. Kiman os lahoda amar ameima. Ish v'isha shemachru b'nichsei miloig. An ish v'isha that they sell in the nichsei miloig. So the woman has brought into marriage, and now they go ahead and they sell something, and then one of them dies. So he said, the second one takes it away. It's not a good mechira, guys. So again, they both sell. One dies. The other one's mitzi because it's not a sale. Kiman, who does it go according to? Rabbi Eliezer. It goes like again, Rabbi Eliezer. That either one, right? They both have what? That the Kinyan. I guess you have to own it and you could use it, and neither one has that, right? Look at Rashi, guys. In other words, they sold it to somebody else. The one who remains can go ahead and take it back from the purchaser. It's not similar to a shutif. Why? Because guys, listen to this. The shutif, you each own the whole for the rights in half. Over here, each one either right. The hasam yesh lezeh chelik bikulay litel chetzi. They own the whole thing for a half. V'chein lezeh. Aval hacha. So Rashi continues and he says it's different than shutfin because shutfin yesh them chelik bikulay litel chetzia. They all own the whole for a half. Neither one owns the rights of the other. If I'm a shuttif in you completely, so we each own all of it for 50%. In other words, view each part as a molecule of me and Avrami Branko. We're shuttif in something. So we each own the whole thing. But if you have a Kinyan Paris, I have a Kinyan Aguf, we don't own the whole thing. You own the Kinyan Paris, I own the Kinyan Aguf. It's two separate things. So therefore, right, it's not miyuchat to even one of them. So in other words, why do Rabbi Eliezer hold? When the Eved is not miyuchat to each one of them, you're not the owner. Well, guys, when the Eved is not miyuchat to each one, you sold the Eved for 30 days. So this one you sold it 30 days has the Kinyan Paris. You really own it. Good. Said Rabbi Eliezer, if you knock out, you chayiv misa. If you kill him, you chayiv misa. You don't have the B'tur of Yomi Yamayim. Why? Because you're not a full owner. If the other guy knocks it out, you're not a full owner. Why? Each one's ownership is mark of the other. So over here also, they both go ahead. Let's say you sell it. It's not a good sale. You know why? Because each one's mark of the other. So therefore, that's what it says over here. Who's the Tana? It must be Rebbe Eliezer. Okay. My time, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi said that, Mantan the Rabbanim Misha Chetz weiter. Ish Risha Shemach Minesei Meloi Leyasel Klum Keman Rabbi Eliezer. Mantan Tan Rabbanon Misha Chetz of Eve V'Chetz Ben Chayrin. You have again from Hashaleach fame, right? In the fourth parak of Gittin, you have a person that is what is a you had two shutfin in an Eved, one frees it. So now what's the halacha of a free Eved Kanani? Automatically they become what a Jew. So Chatzi Eved Chatzi Bas Chayrin. This machlokes Beis Shammai V'Sila, where Beis Shammai was turned out to be right. The Chain Evet shall shnei shutafin and yotzim b'rashi evarim she'enu chaysim. If they one of the 24 evarim that they knock off, they don't go free. Amalei Rav Mordechai. Why is that? Amalei Rav Mordechai Rav Ashi hachiyam mishmei derava. Rebbe Eliezer. It's Rebbe Eliezer, right? Milam Rebbe Eliezer kasvei miyucheloi hachanami avdei ham miyucheloi. And this Evet is not miyuchet to him, therefore, right? And therefore, what the Evet will not go free because you need full ownership. Okay, we have a Mishnah. Okay, yeah, it's very good. Good job. Says the Mishnah. Noisein sella. If someone goes ahead and is taikei lechaveroi, it's machlokes vishonim. He according to Rashi, hiku al ozna, he hit him on his ear. Lashon moiri lishna achrina taikei amamish. He blew into his ear. He blew into his ear, or he hit him in his ear. Or he punched him. Period. Nothing to do with his ear. In other words, this is a case of boishes without tsar. Boishes, or even if there's tsar, the boishes. In other words, this Mishnah is focusing on the payment of boishes. Now, the first Mishnah that we learned was kol ha-mevay, goes according to the mevayish umisbayesh, according to the one embarrassing and the one getting embarrassed. Right. So it's a relative. It's not a set amount. It's a relative to the individual. So at the Keilach Noisein lo sela, you give him a sela. For that, you're chayav busha, you're chayav a sela. Rabbi Yehuda says, right? A sela is 4 zuz. Rabbi Yehuda says, Mishum Rabbi Yosi Haglili mana, you give him 100 zuz. 100 zuz. A big difference between 4 zuz and 100 zuz. Satroi, you slap him in the cheek. Noisein lo masayim zuz, you give 200. If the back of your hand you slap him in the cheek, that seems to be a bigger insult. I still remember in the old days the Frenchmen would take the glove and they would smack you across the face, and you have a duel, right? Not the young guys, the old guys. I'm dating myself. All the old guys are going like this, and all the young guys are saying, they had duels, yeah. In the movies, you had duels. Sacre blue and. What? Yeah. Pistol thing. Right. Aaron Burr killed Alexander Hamilton. They did kill him. They killed him in a duel. He killed him. In the Mir Yeshiva. Anyway, I don't know. I wasn't there. Anyway, so he goes, okay. Anyway. So tsarim ba'aznai, if you punctured his ear or you pulled his ear, different pshat, Rashi brings both pshatim, or tolish b'saroi, or you pull his hair, rokak, you spit, begia boy, roikoi, and the roik hits him. Hever talisa mimenu is overgarment, not his undergarment. Hora roisha isha b'shuko, you go ahead and expose a woman's hair in the street. Noishna arba meyasus, you give 400, so it's a considerable sum of money. So these again, you have these amounts, right? You have these amounts. So it's kind of funny. You said this. You just went ahead, guys, and gave what seemingly set amounts, and then you say which is mashma right? So I saw a pshat that these numbers that we gave over here, these are well, not average. It could be the max. It could be the max. These were things over here. These are for the mechubedika person, but because these are considerable amount of money. So, but a nani would be less. A nani would be less. I'm Rabbi Akiva. Afilu anim sheb Yisrael royin aisai ki ilu hem b'nei chayrin shiyodu min nechseihem. Right. Shehem b'nei Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov. So in other words, there's a set price According to Rabbi Akiva, there seems to be a set price. It doesn't go fi kfaydai. Everyone is a mechubadik person, and it will go according to that. Umaisa be'echad she'para roisha isha b'shuk. A person he went ahead and he uncovered a woman's hair in the street, and boss lefnei Rabbi Gamliel to be toiveya habaishes v'chayiv litain la arba meyazuz. And Rabbi Kiva was mechayiv this individual to pay this woman 400 meyazuz. So Amar loy. So the person said, Rabbi, tain li's man, give me a little time to get it together. But that's not Rabbi Kiva gave him time. Shamra, I made this Pesach Chetzera. He heard that she was standing by the Pesach the Chetzer, and he went ahead. The Shavar es Hakad, and he broke a cad of oil before in front of her. Uboy ki'is shemen, and there was a very small little bit amount of oil in that, and it was dripping out. What did this woman do? Gil says Raishai, she uncovered her hair, and she caught the oil in her palm, and she was going ahead and she was doing her hair. Exactly. It definitely was this thing operation. Right? Hesh. Also in the Gemara. and not only that, listen what he did. And this is the day before cameras, right? Before you had your cell phone to go ahead and tape or anything. And Hemidullah Adim, he had Adim there. Rabbi Akiva, and he brought this Adim in front of Rabbi Akiva, and Amalei told Rabbi Akiva, Lizu ani nice and Dalamei Zuz. You're telling me that this woman is so prestigious that you're going to give her 400 zuz? Look, for a little piece of oil, right? She was willing to uncover her barabim. Says Rabbi Akiva, Alpha Pishain Rishoi Pata, right? Amalei Layamid Klum. Excuse me. Amalei Layamid Klum. So Rabbi Akiva, what? He didn't say anything. Why? Because if a person hits himself, who the money's going to go back to him. However, nonetheless, so in other words, he obviously didn't mind that he's getting injured, correct? So if he does it to himself, he's potter. What happens if another person does it to him? Chayiv. Right? Chayiv. If a person cuts down a tree, even though he doesn't have a shus, potter, you'll be potter. Even though you're over on Baltashkes, right? But Achem Chayavim, we chayiv to pay. We chayiv to pay. It's interesting. You'll be potter from paying. You'll be chayiv malchus al baltashlis because it's nothing to do with the fact that it's your tree and another tree. You'll be chayiv malchus and the baltashlis. The moment is the chayiv. You can't pay yourself, right? The moment is that you can't pay yourself. Okay, if you look at Taisus, guys, I spoke out. Look at Taisus, guys, on Amid base. Sadik Aleph Amid base. Top Taisus. But you say he's potter. What chiyav is shaykh? It says he's potter. Be potter mi malchus. If you're going to tell the chiyav malchus and you potter from that, he's not. Akochach hakoitzes neti yosav afa b'shein v'shoy potter lafaynu potter mi malchus. The chay mishum koitzes ilana is toivais. Vas harasei oisar leisichrais. Kedisa perik basra the malchus. So what? He was asking, what shaykh lashon of the Torah over here? It can't be going to malchus. You know why? Because he's chayiv malchus. Because he's chayiv malchus. It's tzarich litzchok v'loy my potter afal b'shein but sad chiyav. He's potter even though it's not a sad chiyav. Shein chas al gufay. So since he's not chas on his guf, achem shechavlu by chayav. Nonetheless, others, notice he obviously doesn't care about his body, but others would be chayiv. Good. That's the kiddush. I just wanted to from Taisus to show you be chayiv malchus. Be chayiv malchus. Important Taisus. So if you hit yourself, you damage yourself. Chayiv malchus for chavol.
Keep hitting. Keep going.
Talking about a sadist masochist. The person's got issues. Okay, geschmack. So says Rabbi Akiva, your raya from this woman's no raya. It doesn't make a difference, even though she has no self-respect. It has nothing to do with you going ahead and embarrassing her, right? Your person has no self-respect and they're going to damage themselves. Other people are chayiv. A person does not care about the life of his own trees. Other person will be chayiv. So therefore, the linear mumness. Now, we met earlier in the Masechta the Mana Tsuri and Mana Medina. Mana Tsuri is 8 times more than Mana Medina. It's 8 times more. It's 8 times more, right? It's 8 times more. So we want to know over here when you say you chayiv to pay. Iboiluhu. Mana Tsuri Tanan or Mana Medina Tanan? Is it Mana Tsuri or Mana Medina? Now, a Mana is 25 slayim. There are four sellers in a four zuz in a cellar. So 25 slayim would be Mana, would be 100 zuz. Would be 100 zuz. Now, a Mana Medina is 1/8 of that. So it would be a half a zuz. It would be a cellar would be half a zuz. If there are four zuz in a cellar, then 1/8 of 4 is what is a half. Right? So it would be half a zuz. So Mana Tsuri Tanan or Mana Medina Tanan. Tashma, who governed was this individual. The Takalei Lechavre, he went ahead and he damaged his. He embarrassed his friend. Also, come Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya. Again, what I always tell you, who's Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya? It's the grandson, right? Very good. Not Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. It's his grandson. Right. Amalei. So Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya said, "Ha ana, ha Rabbi Yossi Aglili." There's I and there's Rabbi Yossi Aglili. Havle Manatsuri. Give it Manatsuri. Shmamina Manatsuri Tanan. Okay? Now the question, the Gemara now is going to figure out, we answered our Shaila. That when we speak over here, you notice we're not machmit the same Mana Medina. It's the 1/8. It's the cheaper metal denomination. However, what did Rabbi Yehuda say mean when he said Ha'ana Rabbi Yossi Aglili? What did that mean? There's I and there's Rabbi Yossi Aglili. What did that mean? It's a cryptic term. What exactly does that mean? Says the Gemara, "My ha'ana Rabbi Yossi Aglili. Ilay mahachi kamalei." This is why he told him, "Ha'ana dechasisach." I saw you, meaning I saw you, and I'm the aid. Rabbi Yossi Aglili dama maratsuri, and he says manatsuri. Zil havle manatsuri. Okay, so in other words, I'm the aid, and I'm the dayan. I saw you do it. And I'm paskening that what? Pay Manatsuri. Why that denomination? Because Rabbi Yossi Aglili said you pay the denomination. So the first clause is I'm the aid, but he's also paskening. Now, guys, we have a rule: Ein aid nasadayin. Ein aid nasadayin. Aid can't be a dayan. There is a Tosfos, I think it's in Chaf Aleph or Chaf Beis in Ksubas on the Beis. I spoke about Simchas Bris, this piece of Torah. What's the reason aid nasadayin, guys? Very geschmack. One of the Yisaitis of Eidus, guys, is we need that you should be able to Mekayim Katzazomam. You need Eidus Shata Yachal Azima. We spoke this out, right? In other words, we spoke out Eidim have such power, they have to have the fear factor that what? That they can end up. So if you're going to say someone killed somebody, we're going to believe you. You have to have the fear that what? Guess what? If you're lying, you can be right. You could be so. If you can't be Mekayim that, then they have no fear whatsoever. So if the aid becomes the dayan has no fear. He's not going to be Makabal Azama himself. He's not going to be Makabal Azama. So it's aid. You want to be Makabal Azama. So Mamela, that's one reason that aid that's a dayan. A second reason is a logistical reason. Rashbam says that what for Omdu Shnei Anoshim Lefnei Elohim, that the two aidim are standing in front of the judges. If the aid's a dayan, he can't be standing in front of the judge. He's the judge. He can't be standing in front of him. So it's a logistical reason. Okay, those are two of the reasons that this is Tosfos. Yeah.
I remember hearing did someone, did you or would Simcha say it at the scene at the restaurant?
Which Pesachim?
At the Tea Fusion. Yeah. Yeah, no, not Tea Fusion.
Sima Shas? What?
An essay. Your birthday party. Yeah. Yitzi. Was that? Yitzi speak. I just remember hearing them.
I don't know. Wait, that was Yitzi. I don't know. I wasn't listening.
I was choosing.
I don't know. I was busy with the Kishka. Anyway, so L'chaira, you have a problem. If it means that I'm the aid and I'm just saying the denomination I'm paskening, l'meimed to me to say they nasadayin v'tanya, Sanhedrin sharo echet shaharigas hanefesh, a Sanhedrin that saw someone kill someone, miktsasa nasu edim and miktsasa nasu dayanim. Div Reb Tarfin. Why? Because ein aid nasadayin. Rabbi Kiva ayimek kulam edim heim. The ein aid nasadayin. They're all edim and they can't be a dayan. So Rabbi Tarfin's of the opinion aid nasadayin, and therefore, even though they saw, they could sit in dayanis. And Rabbi Kiva says no, they're all puzzle as dayan and they're edim. I'd kind of like Rabbi Tarfin el the miktsas and nasu edim, miktsas and nasu dayanim. Right? You know, it's because the edis are edis and dayan and dayanim. I will aid nasadayin loy kamar. So therefore, how's it possible? How's it possible to have what over there in Nasadayan? Says Kitanya. When did we learn that? He going Shiro Balayla. They saw what at night. Now, if an aid could be a dayan, what does that mean? It means that there's no Haggadah to see this, right? It means that Reb Tarfin, right? According to, if you go ahead and you see something, if you go ahead by it and you see something, right? So you wouldn't. Why would you need an aid to tell you that? We have a Gemara in Rosh Hashanah, the Gedola Re'iyah, Yosim Mishmir, right? So that it shouldn't be that if you saw something, that's more than hearing something, right? So if you see, so if the Dayan saw it, you can do away with that God to say this. But at night, no, the halacha edus is accomplished. What are you going to do? You can go through, they saw it. You can have two people tell them what they saw. Right, this Gedolah Yosim Mishmir. You don't. Again, that's what you're getting wrong. You have to aid them. The Edom was the Re'iyah. That was the. No, it's that was the Edis. During the day, we're going to say Eid Nasadayin is where they saw it. When Eid Nasadayin is they saw it at night. Since there's no Dayonis at night, you can't accomplish that. You can have the Re'iyah of the Edis, but there's no Haggadah to say this at night. There's no Haggadah to say this. Haggadah to say Edis at night. So therefore, we had a kasha. That's the third parak in Rosh Hashanah. Ru Bezdin V'Hem Shleisha, right? That's the third parak there. Now, so says the Gemara over here. You have a problem. Well, what's your problem? How could you tell me that he's able to go ahead and be an aid? Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya, I ain't a Nasadayin, right? So when do we learn that case of Reb Tarfin with the Dayanim is they saw it at night. They saw it at night. And therefore, since you can't judge it at night, therefore, Ein Nasadayan. Mashain came during the day where you would not have got to say this. So when the Rebbe who didn't see it? During the day. So in that case, and you can do away with I got to say this in Ein Nasadayan. Shmir Gedel Maria. Guys, Shloite Shmir Gedel Maria. Again, what's the teretz? Guys, what's the kasha? You have a kasha from Reb Tarfin that we see that what Ein Nasadayan. So how could Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya become an aid and dayan? And the answer is, they Reb Tarfin saw it at night. Since he saw it at night, I got to say this has to be during the day. Of course, the dayan is the only court cases during the day. What happens if they saw it during the day? Then you could do away with that. I got to say this because ain't Shmir Gedel Maria. So they saw it. So if Yehuda Nasiya saw it during the day, the Mela what he could become a dayan. So the by Yisema another teretz. The by Yisema another teretz. And this is the way I learned the Gemara. It's I and Rabbi Yossi Galili both hold that it's Tsuri. That's all. They're both testifying that it's Kesef Tsuri, not Kesef Medina. So the by Yisema Hachikamalei Ha'anos the Svirle Rabbi Yossi Galili Damar Monet Tsuri. Where's the Chiyuv? Vasadei the Masadi Bach. And there's Aedis that testify. I'm not the aid. There's other Aedis. Zil Havle Monet Go ahead, Rod, and pay Monet Tsuri. So again, two ways to answer. One, according to first teretz, that's to dying during the daytime where you could do it. I got to say this. And the second one, no, he wasn't the aid at all. There's nothing to do with that sugya. He simply told them, both I and Yosef Lili, that it's not Kesef Medina, it's Kesef Tsuri. And here are Aiden that said that you went ahead and you would take right, go ahead and pay.
How does the day-night difference work with the two reasons why you just explained eight Nasadain logistics or
Right.
In other words, what difference make day or night? You can have
again that over there is if it's seen, right? If it's seen that it's then I think that it's automatic. I have to think of that. Says the Gemara. That held it. We were giving why Ein Eid Nasadayin. That's going according to the opinion Eid Nasadayin. Those two, if you hold Ein Eid Nasadayin, what would the reason be? That reason the Tosfos. There, if you hold during the day, it's because you hold Eid Nasadayin. It's not a kasha, right? Okay, good. Says the Gemara. The sub Rabbi Akiva, the ain aid nasa dayan. Is Rabbi Akiva really of the opinion that an aid cannot be a dayan? But Tanya, it says v'hika ish esreyei. A man hits his friend, be'even or be'egroif, either with his hand or his fist. Shimon Timani Omer, ma egroif miyuchad shemasa le'eda ule'edim, afkol shemasa le'eda ule'edim, right? Pirish. When a person comes in and he's making a claim, and that you look at him and he's got a really, let's say he's got a smashed face in, and he's really disabled. He's really got a good hack. Mm-hmm. You go to, he said, who hit you? Shmerel. You go to Shmerel. Shmerel's got a little fist. Shmerel's a weakling. There's no way in the world that what? You check his pockets and you find that he had brass knuckles. Okay, it's a different story. But again, you have to, you have to go ahead and make an evaluation if what he's saying, if it fits it. So in other words, you have to be able to bring it to Bezdin. Okay? And uprat l'shiyotza mitachas yada edim. Right? That prat, excluding anything that would come out from underneath the hands of the aid. Look at Rashi, guys. Let's do Rashi on this. Says Rashi, Shemasa le'edim ule'ed, go up. Sheyachal le'hevi le'bezdin. You're able to bring it to Bezdin, the weapon. Loim imroi egrov zeh lases chavalazu. If this fist can possibly do that damage, then ein roi lo yishalim. Why? Shemachmas chushashay zel zeh v'rakoisei nechbal. In other words, maybe the person was so badly damaged because he had weak bones in the first place, right? Maybe he suffered from osteoporosis, right? That's it, Doc?
Yeah.
Not garlic. Osteoporosis, right? Something happened over there so it's interesting, right? This person doesn't physically have the ability to do that. That's what Rabbi Shimon Atamani says. That's what Shimon. So Amal Rabbi Akiva says what? If they Bezdin hiko sheyoidim kama. If they Bezdin hiko, did he hit him in front of Bezdin? Sheyoidim kama hiko. Did he know how many times he hit him? V'ma hiko? What did he hit him with? Right? Imal shoykai, did he hit him on his thigh? Or a piece of cartilage of his heart. Someone goes ahead and throws his friend off a roof, top of a large building, who makes and dies. In other words, you're telling me that you have to bring it to Bezdin or I'm in Bezdin. So Bezdin's going to go check that out. Right? If you can go ahead and the building that he fell off falls down, you're going to build it up. So that can't be the pshat in that he keo Ishas Rebbe Evan Rebbe Egroif. Elama Egroif miyuched shumasal le'edim. Afkol shumasal le'edim. Prat l'sheyatza ha'evan mitachas yadai. Unless the evan comes out from underneath his hands, and didn't see it. Shalmaka, then parta. What does Rashi say? What does Rashi say on that, guys? Bezdin holchan etzel bira bitmia v'chiatriach hakosav Bezdin lotzes milishkas. Are we going to cause Bezdin to leave the lishka of v'lirei seisa? Guys, remember this is capital punishment. Yeah. Oyim nafla habira koidim shero Bezdin klum matzich hakosav lachsav lidmais, where they have to rebuild it laharis gava lebezdin. Ela aidim samchinan. Guys, with samechan aidim. You know, it's not the weapon, it's not the house, it's not the weapon, but samechan aidim. The kivin the row edim samchinana aidesu, and with samechan their testimony shaimim lanu kach v'kach haya v'lay beinin moisel eida el edim. All you know is what the edim tell you. It's up to the edim to know, guys, but not Bezdin doesn't have to know. Whatever Bezdin will ask questions, and the edim will testify. Probably sheyatza ever mitachas yad maka claimer should never miyad v'lay row edim. In other words, if the weapon was lost right away and the edim never saw it, then not. Ketani mias. What do we need from this? Amalei Rekiva v'chim v'ei Bezdin hakliko sheyodim kamiko mashma guys hayiko b'fneihem ei nasadayin. In other words, go through the whole thing. So what did Rabbi Kiva retort? Did he do it in front of Bezdin that we would know? Mashma, if they did it in front of Bezdin, ei nachinami. But 1 second, even if they did it in front of Bezdin, it should be good. Why? Ein ei nasadayin. Ella, why do you see a problem? Must be Rabbi Kiva holds ei nasadayin. Says according to your words, I was answering. He takahols eight nasadayin, right? And he was adding to the words of Shemin money. Okay, again, guys, on tomorrow's share is not. There's no share tomorrow night. There's no share tomorrow night. I have a bar mitzvah. Share will be during the day sometime. So if you can make it, great. If not, I'm gonna tell Steve Geller to make sure to get the tape out as soon as possible. Is it possible